Welcome to the Asset Inheritance Introduction video. The Asset Inheritance Portal is built to allow your will executor or administrator to gain access to your financial data and print out the details required for probate if you were to pass away. That way, they have a picture of your estate to enable them to apply for probate and distribute the estate. If you enter monetary amount details into the portal, you can also see your net worth. This gives you a high-level summary of your estate and can be used for financial and inheritance planning with an advisor. The portal is set up to allow quick data entry, so most of the fields are free format. The aim is that it's then easier for your loved ones to understand and use the data. There are also fields for notes where you can enter further details. For example, if you have company restricted stock units, you may need to enter details when these were given to you and when they vested. Now let's explore the dashboard. Once you've logged onto the portal, you will first see the dashboard. The dashboard provides an overview of your finances, a high-level view of your net worth, and alerts for any policies that have expired or are about to expire. A timestamp on the net worth box indicates the last time the portal was updated by you. There is also a high-level summary of your assets and liabilities broken down by how quickly these can be accessed or are due to be paid. Clicking on any of these tabs, for example, the Available Now tab in Assets, shows you a summary of the assets that are available to you. You can also export your data to a spreadsheet for the dashboard. This provides a list of the assets, liabilities, policies, utilities, and will location. This is the same list that your nominees and advisor would see if they exported the data, except they would only see what you permitted them to see. This will be shown later in this demo. When you want to enter assets or liabilities, these can be added from the dashboard or from the assets or liabilities screens. There are multiple asset and liability types that can be accessed in the drop-down menus. These include miscellaneous categories, in case you have something that doesn't fit in the other categories. When you enter your data, you can enter just the basic information required to allow your will executor to identify your assets and liabilities, or you can enter full details including amounts, which then also shows you your net worth. Also, remember, you can enter partial data if you prefer. For account numbers, for example, you may want to enter only the last 4 digits. Entering policies and utilities. You can enter policies and utilities from the left-hand menu on the dashboard. For both, most of the input is free format, and you are able to describe the services as you see fit. Under Utilities, there is a drop-down of the utilities available. There is also a miscellaneous category, which can be used for anything that doesn't fit into the existing categories. Again, for both policies and utilities, you can enter just enough information to allow your will executor to identify these, for example, the company name and policy number, or you can enter more detailed information for your records. Nominees and advisor. When you select a nominee and/or advisor, please ensure these include your will executors. This will allow them to access the details they need if you pass away or are incapacitated. Your selected nominees and advisor will be provided with a registration link which they can use to register onto the portal. This registration is free and will give that person read-only access when the time comes. They can only access the portal depending on the hours field setting, which is a time lock. The hours field is very important to understand, as it determines when a nominee or advisor can access your data. A value of 0 for a nominee or advisor means that they can see your data whenever they want to, by logging on using their registration details. This is very useful for someone like your spouse or partner, who you may share all financial information with. Setting the hours field to any other value means that the nominee or advisor will have to wait that long in hours before they can access your data. If a nominee or advisor tries to access your data, you will be sent an email and SMS message telling you that this person is trying to log on to your account, and you will be provided with an approval or deny option. If you approve, the hours field will be set to 0 and access will be granted the next time they log in. If you deny, the person trying to access your data will be told that they cannot do this. However, if you don't deny or approve within the hours stated, the person will then automatically be able to access your data. A typical example of how the hours fields is used is by setting the value to 0 for your partner and advisor, and a week, which is 168 hours, for your siblings. Others can be determined by you. If you know you are going to be away for 3 months, you may want to increase the hours for some of your nominees. Remember, the data they see is determined by the permissions set by you. Setting permissions. For each nominee and advisor, you can select what they can see and cannot see. This way, you ensure that, for example, your spouse can see everything and others can only see part of the data. This is used for both online views and the printout view. There are default values set for permissions, but you can change these as you wish. You can select particular fields that can be seen or not seen, or select or deselect all fields for each category. This helps ensure that some of your chosen nominees can only see perhaps a list with no monetary values, whereas you may want your partner and/or Will Executor to see everything. Downloading your report. You as a user and your selected nominees and advisor have the ability to download a report of your finances to an Excel spreadsheet. As a user, you can download a report containing all your data. Nominees and advisors can only see and download the fields that you have permitted. Ultimately, these reports can be used for probate. Thank you for viewing this introduction video. We hope you found it useful.